Yo, Sanjay Uche here, people, giving you my review on Dragon Ball Super Episode 105. Episode title: A Desperate Battle, Master Roshi's Sacrifice. And I'm honestly just coming off the episode. So, to start things off, well, before we get into things, remember to rate, comment, subscribe. It definitely helps me out. And let's just get right into it. So, my first impressions coming off the episode, I liked it. Even though I think I enjoyed last week's episode a bit more, but not to say this episode was bad. It was definitely an okay to an okay plus for me. The episode really was a character-centric one, focusing on Master Roshi and his conflict against Universe 4, essentially. So, being a character-centric episode, the characterization in this episode was what made it shine through for me. So, getting into it, try not to give a play-by-play here because you've obviously watched the episode already. But during the episode, we get Master Roshi going up against three different fighters from Universe 4. And to that end, I'd say the pacing of the episode was definitely good. Because starting off, we have Roshi walking around, basically analyzing everybody until he bumps up into the first opponent from Universe 4, which I don't recall her name. I don't think it was even stated in the episode itself. But essentially, during this fight, Roshi basically says that he's been studying everybody in the tournament, kind of watching their abilities, how he stacks up against them, which I thought was a pretty nice touch. Being strategic there from Roshi's side, definitely like that part. Of course, Roshi goes on to tell her that she stands no chance against him. And we get to find out that she actually can use key manipulation in terms of shaping her energy into different weapons, which was pretty cool. But as we see not too long after, she's no match for Roshi, after which she goes around and tries seduction. And I like this part about the episode, considering that it gives weight to the training episodes predetermined of power involving Roshi using Poir to get rid over his weakness. I definitely like that. It definitely gives weight to that. I loved it. But Roshi, even though he sort of falls for it at one point, he overcomes it and gets her out of the ring. I found that part to be funny because I'm listening, I'm reading the dialogue, and it's like, this just sounds like a guy who hasn't had sex for a very long time. It's ridiculous. And even the girl's lines when she jumps out of the ring about he's gonna make me not marriage worthy or something along those lines. It was definitely pretty funny there. So some combined early aspects of this episode. Of course, we move on to the second fighter, which is another female from Universe 4, who apparently uses illusions, which was pretty cool. I found it to be a nice touch. Of course, she casts one on Roshi, and Roshi eventually resorts to the Mafuba, which I thought was definitely good. Bringing back the Mafuba, the OG, well, not the original user of it, but back when Dragon Ball was Dragon Ball, I suppose, when they were younger, Roshi was the OG user of it. Well, not OG, but his master was the OG. And yeah, you get what I'm saying, damn it. But yeah, so there was that. So Roshi pops out the Mafuba, seals her, and it's after this we get Krillin, who's starting to worry about Roshi because, he usually takes a toll on his body, but we find out that he's good. And it's after this we come to the last opponent for Universe 4 who fights against Roshi, and it was that bird guy from Universe 4. I think he had like bird feet, and he goes up against Roshi, but we find out that he's no match, honestly, but Roshi's basically bothering him, and he eventually transforms. Roshi then proceeds to continue showing him up. Basically, it's really evident Roshi has the advantage throughout this fight. Even though I liked how they stated that he was stronger than Roshi and faster, but the experience was the determining factor, really and truly. And I thought that was cool. But I think in a situation like that guy is really relative to Roshi. Like, probably if you were to try to bring power levels in it, I know it's not the best idea. Probably he'd be like a 1500 and Roshi be 1000. You get what I mean? So it's not the difference in speed and strength isn't too vast. So in a situation like that, experience would be the determining factor, and I definitely like that they added that touch because Dragon Ball's been known to be, I have the higher power level, I win. Um, but yeah, so I definitely like that touch about the episode. But there was this part where they were saying that the guy was getting stronger for some reason. That was kind of okay. I'll work with it, I guess. And he starts basically bothering Roshi, left hook, right hook, boom, 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 body shots. And it's at this point that the characterization aspect of the episode really shines through for me, because I wish I knew the guy's name, but he was basically saying that Roshi, you're at your limit. You might have been a great martial artist back in the day, but now you're not. Your time has passed, and it's at this point that Roshi states that basically, hey, Goku and Krillin, they taught me that, hey, I'm not at the end of my line yet. I can still go further and break my limits and all that. And we get this nice epic scene of him charging up a Kamehameha. He goes buff and he manages to knock the guy out throughout the ring. So Roshi definitely putting in the work for this episode. But I do like how the characterization in this episode, because after this he drops, he faints, and it kind of seems like he's gonna die. And I think this is next to Goku finding out that Goku Black killed Chi-Chi and Goten in the alternate timeline. This is like the only other moment in Super where we see Goku this concerned, honestly. So definitely like that. It kind of reminded me of Goku's character as a kid. I mean, Goku's like a man-child, but you get what I mean. Where you'd probably see him show more concern about the people around him. Really and truly. I'm not saying that's not the case throughout the entire franchise, but it just really reminded me of OG original Dragon Ball days, Goku and Krillin. Just the performance, how it was showcased, how they interacted with or reacted to Roshi quote unquote dying. I thought it was a nice touch about the episode. Of course, after this, Roshi gets up and walks off, and it's cool to note that he even gained Beerus's respect, because by the end, it's Beerus. Throughout the episode, Beerus was just saying, "Hey, old man," but by the end of it, Beerus asks his name, and it's kind of like a thing when you ask someone their name. It's like, yeah, okay, it's a sign of respect, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, that's that. Apart from that, I thought the arts was good throughout. Animation, nothing too like world shattering in terms of like it wasn't overly top great, but it was okay. I think it was standard. I didn't really see any major gripes with it, honestly speaking. So, and I wouldn't even call it it's not the best episode of the tournament. I thought it was an okay to an okay plus watch, honestly. It's really, as I mentioned, a character-centric episode, so the characterization, and if you're a Roshi fan, you'll love it, honestly speaking. But definitely a good watch. I loved it. But yeah, so rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the episode. I thought it was okay plus. Of course, next week it looks like episode 106 is gonna be a pretty decent one. Of course, if you haven't seen my episode 106 spoiler video, I'll probably link that by the end here. But Sanjay Uchiha, let me know what you think about this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.